gentlemen, it's me, T-Bone, from the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. It's Sunday morning. It's 10:30. It's time for the Supplemental. We get together every Sunday morning and we do three things. We talk about your national days of the week. I tell you about a comedy or community or charity event that I want you to know about. And we wrap it all up with This Week in History, trivia style. 7 questions set to medium difficulty, all with multiple choice answers. If you get all 7 right, it's going to make you feel real good. And it's a great way to start your Sunday. And that's what we do. We get together every Sunday morning, me and some of the most loyal viewers that a man could ask for. And we struggle through the things. We do the things. The first thing is your national days of the week. Starting with tomorrow, Mañana, Domani. Monday, July 27th, is National Crème Brûlée Day. If I had to guess, brulee is the most frequently misspelled word in the English language. Because it's got a bunch of those little dots and houses, and it's got a bunch of hieroglyphics over several of the letters inside brulee. I believe you can spell brulee without all the fancy accoutrements. I believe that's possible. But if you're going to call it creme brulee, you might as well make it look... It's just burnt cream. That's what the translation is. But burnt cream doesn't sound tasty and delicious. Burnt cream doesn't sound like something you would pay a lot of money for. Burnt cream versus creme brulee. And I recently had some creme brulee, and I forgot how tasty it can be. Because you got the custard underneath. Burnt cream that they scorch with a blowtorch or whatever, however they do the magic that they do. And if you pop through the caramelized sugar over the top of the creme brulee, and you get that custard in there, and it's tasty and delicious, but it's difficult to spell. Whether you're spelling it or whether you're eating it. Think about it. On Monday, July 27th, National Creme Brulee Day. Burnt cream. Hello, viewers. I see you out there. I don't know who you are yet, but I have a different thing that tells me who you are, but that distracts, so I'm not using it. We're going to do this one. Why not? Tuesday, July 28th, is National Water Park Day. I love water parks. I really do. I had, past tense, I had such a great time at water parks in my youth. And early indications are water park days, outdoor water park days, are soon coming to an end. Early indications in that the lush greenery I have in my backyard, a couple leaves started turning yellow. And when a couple leaves start turning yellow, that means eventually they're all going to be, all the foliage is going to change colors. And the temperatures are going to drop. And outside water parks aren't going to be a thing no more. But to the north of me and to the south of me, they have indoor water parks, which somehow doesn't feel the same to me. I have never been to an indoor water park, but I also have no desire to go to an indoor water park, unless indoor water parks have elevators. Now you've tickled my fancy. Now, because I'm old and decrepit and my knees don't work like they used to. So, climbing 5 stories to take a 15-second ride to the bottom, that math doesn't work for me anymore. But you put an elevator in there, and that elevator takes you all the way to the top of the thing inside the building, because inside a building, it's got to be good for an elevator, right? And you just get out, and then, now we're talking. Those of you who do the wolf lodges, Let me know if elevators take you to the top of the rides. Then I may go. Probably not, but I would like to. So if you're an outdoor water park enthusiast, time is ticking. Get it all in while you can. I don't know why you would have a water park day on a Tuesday. Who's taking off work to go to a water park? I would. If I was young and spry and motivated by proper motivation, I would take off a Tuesday to go to a water park. How about we think about water parks on Tuesday? How about we make plans? How about that? That's a way to celebrate Water Park Day. Water Park Day, yeah, that's a way to celebrate it. Make plans to go to a water park. Ooh, the celebration just got so much better. That's Tuesday, July 28th, National Water Park Day. Moving along. This one's going to be much easier. Wednesday, July 29th, is National Chicken Wing Day. Ain't got no wings. See, he's just shrugging his shoulders. I do love me some chicken wings. But I'm very, very peculiar in my wings of the chicken. I prefer Korean fried chicken. It doesn't make me a bad person. That's who I am. Davide, I'm thinking of you right now. You told me that you were going to give me food, and I said, don't give me food, and you insisted that I think about giving you giving me food, and I said, don't give me food, but you want to give me food? For a favor that I did for you as a friend? Sure, I'll take your food, because I don't want to be rude, like you have done to me so many times before, and not accept your grace. So I have decided what I want, and I'm not going to wait until Wednesday to eat them. If you get them on Monday or you get them on Tuesday, I don't care. I prefer to eat them on Wednesday, National Chicken Wings Day. I want some banchan. I want some Korean fried chicken, hot and spicy. There's just my friend Damien, I recently turned onto Thuman's hot dogs. He hasn't had them yet, but he knows they exist. And he will be eating them in the future. And he will fall in love with them, as everyone else does. That's what's going to happen. Korean fried chicken is the same way. If you haven't had it, you don't know what you're missing. But once you have it, no other chicken compares. You have to think about how fried chicken in Korea became a thing. The Koreans did not master fried chicken on their own. They mastered fried chicken because of Southern troops who were stationed in Korea for the war, who were sent to Korea for the war. The guys in the rear with the gear, they were from the South, and they knew how to make fried chicken. So they're making fried chicken for the American forces. I guess it was a special thing. I don't know how you feed people during war. The guys in the rear with the gear, they get to eat really good, and the guys up front, they're pulling bark off trees. Anyway, the Southern Americans teach the Koreans how to make fried chicken. The Koreans say, this is good, but we can make it better. And they did. Korean fried chicken is by far the best fried chicken there is. Chicken and Hoff. I was anywhere you go in Korea, you see chicken and Hoff, beer and chicken. They're just fantastic. And spice. Oh my God, the spice. Sometimes it was a challenge to eat all of the stuff. I don't care how you eat your chicken wings, where you get your chicken wings, or what you do with your chicken wings. I just want you to think about all of the chicken wings. on Wednesday, July 29th, National Chicken Wing Day. Moving on. I feel like we may have done this one before, but if we did, it was a year ago. So we'll do it again. Thursday, July. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. It's in my throat. It's deep in my throat. Sorry about that. Thursday, July 30th is National Cheesecake Day. Where are my people? My people that are set in their ways. There's a term I'm trying to pull out of my brain right now. I can't think of what it is. There is something, traditionalist, truist, I don't know what the word is I'm thinking of. But when I say it's National Cheesecake Day, you are thinking of the only cheesecake that there is. The cheesecake. This is the thing. You're a traditionalist. I think traditionalist works. You're that person. That's what you look at. My eyes have been opened. My eyes have seen the coming of the glory of the other ingredients. So, New York cheesecake, I think it's just cheesecake. New York cheesecake. I don't know why they call it New York. It's just cheesecake. And the other cheesecakes are not named for cities. They're just flavors added to them. And if you can mix so many. You can mix so many flavors. My favorite thing to do if I am craving cheesecake is not to go and rob a cheesecake factory, which seems like it would work if you were having cheesecake cravings, but it won't, because cheesecake is like 1% of their menu. Why they call it a cheesecake factory, don't know. But if I have a hankering for a hunka cheesecake, a hanker for a hunka cheesecake, I go to one of the finer grocery stores. You know, you got your Aldi and your Wise and your Giant, and then you got your Wawa, not Wawa, Wewa. The North version of Publix. You have that. You got the North version of Publix. I can't remember what it's called right now. That's how often I shop there. But they make a cheesecake sampler. So they chop it up into 14 bits, and each one of them is a different version of cheesecake. There's just so many different versions out there. But if you're a traditionalist, when I say National Cheesecake Day, you only think of that one. And my friend Roger just made my mouth water with an Italian ricotta cheesecake. Yes, that is tasty and delicious. The best thing about the Italian ricotta cheesecake is you can flavor it with any fresh fruits you want. Raspberries, a popular, any strawberry. Oh, just all delicious fruits go good with ricotta cheesecake. Facts. But however you do it, do you, boo. On Thursday, July 30th, National Cheesecake Day. Moving on. Oh, how convenient. We'll do that. Friday, July 31st is National Raspberry Cake Day. Raspberries are one of the better fruits. Raspberries really can be used so many different ways. And you give me a nice raspberry cake, I'm not going to complain. You give me some of that ricotta cheesecake, Italian ricotta cheesecake, and you put raspberry on that, not going to complain. You take the Korean fried chicken that we talked about earlier and add that in a spicy raspberry sauce, not gonna complain. I don't know if there is such thing as, I wouldn't say raspberries are the perfect fruit. Raspberries are not the perfect fruit. Raspberries are a good fruit, but I don't like to spend too much time looking at them. You go to eat one, and you take a little bit too much time looking at it, and you're like, that looks like hair sticking out of the berry. I don't like hairy berries. So if I can ignore the fact that it looks like it's got little hair sticking out of it, if I can ignore that fact, I eat the berries and they're tasty and delicious and I'm satisfied. If I let my brain get involved, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at hairy berries, and I don't like hairy berries. I do not like them, Sam I am. But a raspberry cake has so much potential. Has so much potential. Like it would be a cake, a fluffy cakiness with a raspberry in between, a jam, a raspberry jam. You put that in between and put it on top, and then you do a triple decker raspberry. I can't wait till we tape the next episode of the LUNSB Show so I can ask Chick Brew how to make raspberry cake like that. That sounds good. I need to work on my cooking skills. And so should you. Think about it at the end of the month, Friday, July 31st. National Raspberry Cake Day. To your comments. Homemade whipped cream with lemon zest. Oh, yeah. What did I do recently? It didn't involve lemon zest. Oh, mashed potatoes. I also like my cake retarded. Moving on, man, we are really, we're not going to do this one, but I'm going to mention it because it's there. Raspberry Cream Pie Day shows up on Saturday, August the 1st. We're not doing that. Instead, we'll do this one. Saturday, August the 1st. That's right. It's August. Is National Homemade Pie Day. I don't know if August the 1st is the best day to make pie. It's already hot and sweaty outside. I think pie season needs to start after Halloween. Let's call that the season of pie. It starts after Halloween and it runs 3 months, 1 day and 4 hours. Huh? We've asked that question before. I'm pretty sure we've asked it as one of our questions of the week. What is your favorite kind of pie? Do you like the pies? I'm a big fan of rhubarb. I also like the mincemeat. I am a weird pie guy. I love the amalgamation of two of my shepherd's pie and chicken pot pie. I asked the wife if she could put those two things together, and she did. So I get a chicken shepherd's pot pie. A shepherd's pot pie. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So good. So good. It's basically. Now, when it says Homemade Pie Day, and it's a Saturday, August the 1st, and you want to celebrate Homemade Pie Day, I'm not going to shame you if you buy pre-made pie things. And if you construct it with your own hands in your home, that's good enough for me. Check in the box. Job well done. You successfully celebrated Homemade Pie Day. Because making a crust is difficult and time consuming. Plus, the graham cracker one, whew, man, I wouldn't use that for a pot pie. That would not be good. But for any other pies, graham cracker, I think with the graham cracker crust, if you just took like some Cool Whip and just sprayed it in there, you could chill it and eat that the way it is. It'd be like a very expensive meringue. You would be making your meringue way more expensive. However you do it, get to it on Saturday, August the 1st. National Homemade Pie Day. I got another thing going on there in my throat. Let me get rid of it real quick. All right. Sunday, August the 2nd, is National Disc Golf Day. Speaking of retarded, uh, I don't find disc golf pleasurable, but my friend Anthony does. And because he did so well last night in the Harrisburg Hilarious competition, I felt like I would give a shout out to a sport that he likes: disc golf. You throw a frisbee at a garbage can made of chains in the distance, and I guess you just keep doing that. There's no fun in it. It's like athletic and stuff, you know. I like regular golf, where there's drinking and driving involved. I mean, not a lot of drinking, but there's definitely drinking and driving involved in regular golf. Well, when you play like I play. And I'm easy, you know. I start with like 10 balls, and when I run out, I quit. When I run out of balls, I go home. Okay, I made it to the third hole today. That's an improvement. I'm going home. Because I'm a tin cup kind of golfer. I believe that I can golf better than physics. Oh yeah. I can make that shot. You can't make that shot. Watch me. Blink. Didn't make the shot. One ball down. Blink. Two balls down. I would be the same way if I was playing disc golf. I would start with 5 frisbees, and when I'm out of frisbees, I quit. Anyway, get outside, think about it, throw a frisbee around and call it golf. I don't care. It's Sunday, August the 2nd, National Disc Golf Day. To your comments. The wife knows a guy that does disc golf, and he has been flirty. I said, WTF, and she said, honey, he does disc golf. Come on. I agree. Loser. Except you, Anthony. You're not a loser. You're a great guy. And I'm so happy for you winning last night. And let's get into that. Let's go into our Come Char. Come Char. Comedy, community, or charity note. I have been telling you for several months about the Harrisburg Hilarious competition. We have completed the opening round. We had 4 sessions of the opening round. We went from 64 comedians down to 20. This coming weekend, Friday and Saturday, are the semifinals. Okay? Those 20 comedians that made it from 64 are going to come out and try to do it again. They're going to try to win the audience's favor. And I, just so you know, I'm not giving away any more free tickets. I had gift certificates for BJ's, and I had to pay your entrance fee, and I was going to sponsor. I'm not giving away any more money. I'm tired of trying to give away. You can't give away money anymore. I'm not doing it. I still want you to come out, but you're going to have to pay your own $10. Not going to do it. It requires special access. You would have to come out to me personally and say, I am going to go on this date. Will you pay for my entrance? And I would say yes. But I'm no longer throwing money down on the table that's not being used by viewers and listeners. Not doing that anymore. Tired of it. So anyway, we're down to our final 20 comedians, and the final 20 that we have left, I'm going to tell you, it's just, they did so good. They did so good over these last 2 weeks. And that's the reason why they won the votes, and that's the reason why they're moving on in the competition. And some of these people I've watched from day one, and some of these people have been doing it for a long time. Some of them do it for a very little time. I met some of these people for the very first time. And it's Friday, it's Saturday, it's the semifinals. After the semifinals, we go down to the finals, where the final 5, I believe it's the final 5, battle it out to be one. So this Friday, this Saturday, Harrisburg Comedy Zone, harrisburgcomedyzone.com. This Friday, this Saturday, doors open at 7:30, show starts at 8, tickets are only $10. And you help decide who wins. You do the voting. You vote for 3 people, and the top 5 people that get the most votes, they move on. And it's been so good. It's been so good. So good. So good. So that's getting real close to coming to an end. I am planning on having a guest on the show this week, and he's going to tell us about something else that's going on, a sketch comedy thing that you may be interested in, may be aware of, and we'll do our job of promoting that. So that's what we got going on in this week's Come Char. Come Char. Sip of water, and then on to the fan favorite portion of the program, This Week in History, trivia style. Maybe he will bail, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't need nobody. If you've been playing along these last couple of weeks, we've been leading up to this question number 1. Yeah, I will explain. Thank you. Thank you. All right, from the top. And now it's time for This Week in History, trivia style. 7 questions, all set to medium difficulty, all with multiple choice answers. Here we go. Question number 1. July 20th, 1969. Something amazing happens. Was it the first space station was completed? The first humans walked on the moon? The first space shuttle landed? Or Apollo 11 launched on July 20th, 1969? Now, I understand there is a delay, so I will use up. How about you? Roger is going to go with the Apollo 11 launch, which makes me think that the delay isn't nearly as long as it usually is. So we got an answer in there from Roger. The Taney family likes to, I don't know how they watch, but they like to answer not individually, which sucks for my numbers. So get on your own device, Cooper. Get on your own device, Jessica, or any other Taney family member that's watching. The question again, July 20th, 1969, what historic event took place during the Apollo 11 mission? The first space station was completed, the first humans walked on the moon, the first space shuttle landed, or Apollo 11 was launched? You've been with me for like the last 2 weeks, and I think you know what the answer is because we've covered this extensively leading up to that day. I'm not giving you my answer until you give me your answer. Yes, that is correct. July 20th, also known as Moon Day, not the dropping of your drawers, but the walking on the moon is what they did. That's my answer. That's James's answer. Where's the rest of the family when we need them? But Roger went with launch. He could be right. He may be right. He may be crazy. Here we go. Question number 2. On July 21st, 1861, what major Civil War battle was fought near Manassas, Virginia? Here are your multiple choice options. Was it the Battle of Antietam, the Battle of Gettysburg, the First Battle of Bull Run, or the Battle of Shiloh? Yes, all right. Jessica walking, sorry, just getting on. All right, Jessica's there. Now my world is right. Still with the Billy Joe, dealing with 6 days of laundry this morning. Oh my goodness. James pops in with Antietam as his answer, which is a surprise that he would be wrong. I thought he was my local Civil War buff guy. I thought he would know these things. Again, what major Civil War battle was fought near Manassas, Virginia on July 21st, 1861? The Battle of Antietam, the Battle of Gettysburg, the Battle of Bull Run, the first Battle of Bull Run, or the Battle of Shiloh. James with Antietam. Roger taking his time. Jessica taking her time. Roger goes with Gettysburg. And that's okay to make that mistake because you don't live here. Those of us who live in and around the greater Gettysburg area, we know. It's that or Shiloh, but it's Gettysburg or Bull. Yeah, there you go, James. Just it's this one or this one or this one or this one. You captured all four. Great. Jessica's going to go with Shiloh. All right, my friends. It's time for some education. You're all wrong. So wrong. No, and the reason I know this is because it's super unique in that in the first Battle of Bull Run, which takes place on July 21st, 1861, near Manassas, Virginia. The newspaper told everybody that the troops were marching from Washington. We got 35,000 troops marching on Richmond from Washington, and it took them like 10 days to get there. And the battle takes place on a field, and people picnicked. They grabbed their picnic baskets and they brought their families to the battlefield to watch the first Battle of Bull Run. They picnicked battle because there was some idea that it was going to be. I think it was wealthy people and senators and politicians and. I don't think a lot of poor people, the poor people were fighting the war. These pompous people went to watch the war take place, watch the battle take place. But it goes horribly awry. The battle didn't go the way they were expecting the battle to go. So the Union soldiers took a whooping from a much smaller force, and then they make haste. They run away in what became known as the Great Skedaddle. And it is only because I know about the Great Skedaddle that I know the answer to this question. The answer is the first battle of Bull Run, also known as the Great Skedaddle. I saw some comments popping in there. Let's see. Gettysburg is 2 hours from Manassas. No one cares. No one cares how far Manassas is from Gettysburg. That wasn't the question. The question was, what battle took place on July 21st, 1861, near Manassas, Virginia? And now, you know the rest of the story. Roger with that's bull. That's funny. Why not, though? You could go to the harbor and watch naval engagements. No, thank you. Cannonballs, no names. Silly. All right, here we go. July 22nd, 1933. Which aviator became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean? You thought you knew the answer because I said woman aviator. You're like, aha, wrong. She ain't the one, son. Here are your multiple choice options. Was it Bessie Coleman, Harriet Quimby, no relation to Mayor Quimby, Jacqueline Cochran, or Amelia Earhart? James pops in with Earhart. He thinks Amelia Earhart was the first female woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. He may be right. He may be crazy. But it just might be the answer that you're looking for. I don't know why I'm still in this Billy Joel thing. That's funny. Again, the first female aviator to cross the Atlantic solo. Was it Bessie Coleman, Harriet Quimby, Jacqueline Cochran, or Amelia Earhart? Roger's going to go with Coleman. And I do know Bessie Coleman. I know her name for a reason, but I don't know why. I know Harriet Quimby was an aviator. And I'm pretty sure Amelia Earhart wasn't the first one to do the Atlantic. Jessica's going to go with Earhart. Now I'm second guessing myself. I'm going to go with Harriet Quimby. And you guys can have Earhart and you can have Coleman. And we'll find out who's right soon enough. July 23rd, 1903. July 23rd, 1903. What automobile company sold its first car in 1903? Airplane hasn't been invented yet. It will be soon. But on which automobile company sold its first car on July 23rd, 1903? Was it the Ford Motor Company, General Motors, Buick, or Cadillac? I feel like I should just say Cadillac because I'm a proud Cadillac owner. You know, if you're going to be wrong strong. And if you're going to really be wrong, support your team. Cadillac Ferrari, that's my team now. James says Ford. I think Jessica's going to say Ford. I'm curious, do you two share your answers before you type them into the phone there? Do you share your answers? Do you yell at each other? Do you try to convince one another whether you're right or wrong? Roger goes with General Motors because we all immediately assume it's Ford, but it doesn't say what company made the first car. Jessica's going to go with GM. It says this company made its first car on July 23rd, 1903. And I think Ford and GM, I think we're in the ballpark. 50-50, flip my imaginary coin. I'm going with Ford. Me and James are going with Ford. Roger and Jessica going with GM. All right, now I know. I didn't know. Question number 5. On July 24th, 1911, who rediscovered the ancient city of Machu Picchu? Machu Picchu? Machu Picchu? Machu Picchu? You know the one way up there. Who discovered the ancient city of Machu Picchu for the outside world? Who rediscovered? Here are your options. Howard Carter, Hiram Bingham, Roald Amundsen, or Percy Fawcett. File this under if you know, you know. And if you don't know, you don't know. Because none of these names are familiar to me. None of these names are popular. Again, here are your options. Who rediscovered Machu Picchu? Howard Carter, Hiram Bingham, Roald Amundsen, or Percy Fawcett? James is going to go with Howard Carter. I'm going to go the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm going with Percy Fawcett. I have no idea why. I just feel like Percy's the guy who found it up in the mountains, who rediscovered it up in the mountains. It was there. He just stumbled across it somehow from way up upon high. Where is Fink when I need this? He's going native with the mountain tribe. Yeah. Jessica's going to go with Percy. So me and Jessica's saying Percy. Roger's going to go with Bingham. Hiram Bingham. We will all find out together soon if we are right or wrong. July 25th, 1978. The recent future. What event marked the birth of the world's first test tube baby? The first successful heart transplant? The birth of Louise Brown? The cloning of Dolly the sheep? Or the first IVF clinic opened? Out of those options, what? Did you change your mind? You changed your mind. Don't change your mind. Blackjack, no trade back. What event marked the birth of the world's first test tube baby on July 25th, 1978? Was it the first successful heart transplant, the birth of Louise Brown, the cloning of Dolly the sheep, or the first IVF clinic opened? I'm not a fan of test tube babies. That's the reason why we have so many, a proliferation of twins and triplets now. You clarified How did you clarify? You said, I think it's Bingham. Yeah, Roger's going to go with birth. And yeah, it's a bad question. Obviously, it is the birth of Louise Brown. That was the beginning of the test tube baby phase. And I'm not a fan of the babies of the tubes of testings, right? Young people, have more sex. That's all you got to do to have babies. Have more of it. And if it isn't working out, get a different partner. James went with the first clinic opened. Strange that he would choose that as his answer. Me and Roger are going with birth. Jessica says test tube. Not one of the available answers for the question. Stop multitasking. You're doing laundry and trying to answer questions, and you're getting them all convoluted. The last question. The last question. July 26th, 1990. What major piece of... I'm sorry, man. You got me cracking up. You got me doing the whole chicken and the egg thing because you think that the birth of the test tube baby required the plant to be opened first. Ah, that's funny. Yes, exactly what I was thinking, Roger. Exactly what I was thinking. The final question, question number 7, July 26, 1990. What major piece of U.S. legislation was signed into law? Was it the Civil Rights Act of 1964? Was it the American with Disabilities Act, the Voting Rights Act, or the Clean Air Act? Major piece of legislation was signed into law on July 26th, 1990. Do you know? I'm trying, I'm failing, but I'm trying. Answers, please. I do not know the answers. Why has James got a bubble over him? How did that happen? I like that. James going with clean air. Roger going with clean air. Jessica is a little behind. I am going to go with the ADA. I believe it was the ADA. That's my guess. All right, well, we're not going to wait much longer. She's doing things. She's a busy woman. Question number 1. Was the landing on the moon? And next week, we'll probably have a question that says, 1 week ago, 56 years ago, this important thing happened. And Jessica's going to go with clean air on the last question. No, on July 20th, 1969, we landed on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. That whole thing, right, happened. And then they named July 20th National Moon Day. If you follow along on the days of the week, you know that too. July 21st, 1861 was the first battle of Bull Run. Let's read the talking point just to see how close I was. Many spectators actually brought picnic lunches to watch, expecting a quick Union battle. Instead, they watched the first major battle of the Civil War turn into a chaotic Confederate win and a wake-up call that the war would be much longer and bloodier than anyone expected. I knew some things. Question number 3. For those of you who chose Amelia Earhart, you were correct. I was wrong. So wrong. Question number 4, for those of you that chose the General Motor Company. I need to correct this one. Son of a gun. The answer to question number 4, the automobile company sold its first car, was the Ford Motor Company. And it says, I need to correct this one, is the note that it's got written here. The question as written wasn't accurate. Ford Motor Company sold its first car on July 23rd, 1903, not Buick. What? I appreciate your patience. I'll tighten these days' checks going forward. The first customer was a Chicago dentist who paid for a Model A, $850. It corrected itself, but the answer's the same. Whatever. Because these are my United States of whatever. If you chose Bingham for the man that rediscovered Machu Picchu, you were correct. But if you hinted to the choosing of Bingham and then went with Percy Fawcett instead, you don't get points. No points for you. The person who rediscovered Machu Picchu was Hiram Bingham. Question number 6. What event marked the birth of the world's... What event marked the birth of the world's first test tube baby? The birth of Louise Brown. That's the event that marked the birth of the test tube baby. Not the opening of a clinic where they may, in the future, have test tube babies. And again, no test tube babies. Make whoopee. And the final question. July 26, 1990. What major piece of U.S. legislation was signed? It was the American with Disabilities Act. I didn't go 7 for 7, but I did pretty well. And none of you went 7 for 7, but you did okay. You tried, and that's the most important thing. New episode of the LUNSB Show should be taped soon. Maybe we'll take a day off. I don't know. My throat is really sore from all the cheering I was doing at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone over the last 2 nights, over the last 2 weeks, over the last 4 nights, over the last 2 weeks. And I'm looking forward to, you were singing Liam Lynch, looking forward to doing it again. So with that being said, I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love. See you next Sunday, if not sooner. LUNSB. And just here,